How's it going, guys? Welcome back. Today we got some more NHL 20 ratings predictions. We got the elite of the elite, the toughest list of the toughest lists, the top 10 centers list. There are so many good centers in the league, and you can't fit them all in the top 10. I apologize early. Some of the guys not making this list, Braden Point, you got to do it for more than 1 year, pal. Scheifele, it was really tough for me to make Scheifele miss this list. Giroux as well, outstanding season, but he's still a passer. That hurts the stats. Ryan O'Reilly, I have one thing to say for the sweet love of baby Jesus. Enough with the O'Reilly disrespect, EA. The only person in O'Reilly's league inside the dot is Bergeron. No one else is even close. Enough with the bad face-off ratings. Sincerely, the O'Reilly faithful. One thing I want to bring up, though, is a lot of these guys are mentioning, I expect 89 overalls out of them this year. I don't expect them to make the list, which they could make the list. Top 10, 89. I think 89 is about where 10th, 9th falls. Draisaitl, he's not going to make the list either. A 50 goal scorer. I can't believe he scored 50 goals this season. But you got to remember the one thing. He's not going to make this list for one big reason. We should have threw him on the wingers list. And honestly, we messed it up. He probably could have been on one of the top 10 lists there because everything has him as a center this year, so he kind of missed out on that. But let's be completely honest. If Draisaitl was playing center this year, it would have taken him 2 seasons to get that many goals. But he ended up playing on a line with the baddest man on the ice, which still doesn't make sense to me why you would play. If Draisaitl is this dang good, why is he playing with McDavid? You don't see Crosby playing with Malkin and Foucault, so I don't get it. I guess that's why they suck this year. Sorry, Edmonton. That was rude. I did not mean that. You guys will be better next year. We'll see what happens. But regardless, I mean, if he somehow ends up on a center, I won't understand it because, like I said, did he play a center this year? No. 50 goals, though, no easy task. You can't sleep on 50 goals. That was a fantastic season by Draisaitl. I don't care who you're playing with. 50 goals is 50 goals. You don't do that by accident. He should still see that 88, 89 range, but I feel like it'll end up being a winger, not a center. Coming in at number 10 is Alexander Barkov, one of the quieter centers in the league. One we don't hear as much about. But man, ever since he's been able to string together a couple healthy seasons, he's been lighting it up. Back-to-back point per game seasons. This one being a 96-point banger. I gave Barkov the edge here because I think he is the better defender to go along with those offensive stats compared to some of these other centers. Not to mention, he did this on not so hot Florida team this year. Says a lot about the guy to still be able to put 96 points up on the board with that. 89 for Barkov. Number 9 is good friend Tyler Seguin. Love the man to death and would love to biasly give him a high 99 overall. But Seguin dropping 88 points and being a smidge below a point per game this year needs to be noted. Nothing wrong with that. Still great numbers. But when I look at the guys above him, I feel like he needs to see a slight downgrade from that 90 last year to an 89 overall this year. Number 8 is going to be John Tavares. It's no secret there's a big contract signing looming over there in Toronto, and Tavares is a big part of it. If it weren't for Tavares hopping in that Mitchie Martin's backpack, weighing him down a little bit, Marner would have probably dropped 100. I'm kidding. Jeez. I swear I'm the only one that thinks my jokes are funny. Sorry, Tavares, he did not disappoint this year, and for the first time, really in his career, someone was dishing him the puck instead of it being the other way around. And that just made him more deadly than he already was. A career high 47 Genos for Tavares this year will most certainly find him on the top 10. The question is where? We'll say 90. He definitely has higher upside though. Number 7, we don't have to go far. It's Auston Matthews. I gotta ask Toronto. Toronto has 2 of the most prolific even strength goal scorers in the league in Matthews and Tavares. Which one of y'all gonna sit there in Mr. Ovechkin's office next year and drop a 50 burger? Like for real, but no. Do what you gotta do. Terrific players, both of them. Matthews, maybe the second line center, but he is that as the better defensive center by many, I think. And for that reason, that's where we're gonna give him the edge here over John Tavares in this list. Again, overall, definitely has higher overall potential than that. We'll see what happens though. Number 6 is Evgeni Malkin. There's nothing more consistent than Malkin missing 10 or so games due to injury every single year. In fact, only one time since 2009 has he not missed said amount of games due to injury. But the crazy thing about that is, even with that, Malkin seems to always find himself amongst the top 10 or 15 point scorers in a league. He's just that good. Again, this year, 68 games played, 72 points this year, but a shocking minus 25. Nonetheless, believe this or not, Malkin had his best season in nearly a decade last year, and EA downgraded him from an NHL 18 to NHL 19, 92 to 91, which tells me, well, I really don't know. It still confuses the crap out of me, to be honest, but it tells me Malkin is losing some flavor with EA, and I think he might find himself on the lower end of the 91 overalls this year. Number 5 is Nathan MacKinnon. Now, usually I don't do this. That is, put a player who has had only 2 really good seasons this far up on a list, but he was well respected with an 89 overall going into NHL 19. And now that he's on his second straight 97-point plus season, he looks all but locked in to jump up to a 91 overall here. Stellar season again for Mac, and we are going to give him that 91 overall. Number 4 is Steven Stamkos. Stamkos entered NHL 19 at a 91 overall, and he finished the season 2 points shy of 100. The man's been a dominant force in the league for a very long time. A healthy Stamkos is a scary Stamkos, and he proved that this year. Interesting to see that he did finish the season with a +4 on the most dominant team in the league, though. Thankfully for Stammer, offensive/defensive awareness categories aren't in this game to reflect the player's ability to play in those zones, but instead they're there just to properly boost the players overall. So Stammer, you still get to stay at a 91 overall this season. Are you boys ready for this one? You ready for the bold prediction of the day? Oh yeah, I know the keyboards are out now. Number 3 is Patrice Bergeron. Now, I'm going to be completely honest. I had Bergeron farther down this list originally, and then I got to thinking a few years back. Remember Jonathan Toews? He was a top 3 rated center in NHL games for year after year after year after year. Why? Because he was an elite defensive center, and he was a solid 60, 70 point offensive threat. Those stats, they were getting Toews close to a 93, 94 overall ratings. Of course, you were getting 95, 96s for Crosby then, but still very, very good ratings. Since then, Bergeron has hands down been the best defensive forward in the league, and it hasn't even been close. In the last 8 years, he's been at Selke finals every single year. He's won at 4 of those years. 3 of the past 4 years, Bergeron has been a 30-plus goal scorer. 2 of those years, he missed nearly 20 games, and he still netted 30 goals. Then I took a look at shooting stats. Turns out he's just as good a goal scorer as David Krejci in this game. They had the exact same shooting stats. And in case you didn't know, Krejci hasn't scored over 23 goals in his entire freaking life in a season. So Bergeron definitely deserves an upgrade this year. I don't even think there's a question anymore that he's better than Toews. 2 years ago, it was only 2 years ago, Toews was the ranked 2 center in NHL 17. Kopitar wasn't far behind after having a career year offensively. Got to keep that in mind there. Another defensive center, career year offensively. And I'm not calling Bergeron the 3rd best center in NHL. If you guys want to debate that, you can debate that. I'm calling him the 3rd best rated player in a video game from a rating standpoint. Looking at the history of the NHL series, it is very, very hard for me not to put him at a 92 overall. Besides, we needed some controversy in the list, right? So 92 for Bergeron. Let's see if it happens. These last couple guys on the list, probably pretty understandable and known already. But number 2 is Sidney Crosby. And he's still Sidney Crosby. All these young guys coming through the woodworks these days. Don't forget about the best player on the planet over the past decade. Dropped 100 points again this year. He's not slowing down yet, and there's no reason for a downgrade. 93 for Crosby again this year. Coming in at numero uno, as you expected, probably Connor Mcdavid. He officially handed McDavid the reins last year for best player in the game, and he don't look to be turning back anytime soon. After dropping another 100-plus point season, this time with 41 goals and 75 assists, McDavid continues to live up to all the hype, but I should mention this because I know there will be questions. EA is not like every other sports game. They do not reward the best player on the planet with the deserved 99 overall, but instead, they usually land around the 94, 95 overall range. This year could be different, but it really hasn't changed in forever. Last time I don't remember the last time a guy was a 99 overall. But you just got to bear in mind that is the normal ceiling. McDavid will be the ceiling for overalls in offline game mode. So McDavid, we will say, will stay just like he was last year, not change things up, a 94 overall. Those are our top 10 ratings predictions for our centers for NHL 20. If you guys enjoyed the video, I would appreciate a thumbs up and a sub if you'd like to do so. Also like to hear you guys' top 10 list. Let me know where I went wrong here if you want to down in the comment section below. As always though, guys, thank you guys for watching. We'll see you next time.